Hello and welcome into the Sporting Pod. Along with Tony Allegretti and Emerson Burris, I'm Cole Pepper. Coming up on the pod, the U.S. out of the World Cup. We discuss. The tournament goes on, what there is still to watch, and new faces joining the women's team and the men's team announced this week. We are fed by the Bearded Pig, locally owned and operated with the original location in San Marco. Make sure you swing by the Bearded Pig for great barbecue and great time. There we go. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, at the risk of starting on a down note, the U.S. out after the 4-1 loss to Belgium on Monday. We're recording this on Thursday in the Gemstone Media Studios. The tournament continues, but your reflections on the way the U.S. went out, Tony.
So I think we went out like hot garbage. We got taken out like the Springfield trash this morning. I'm actually, like, in sort of retrospect, I kind of feel a little better, right, that it happened like that, because so many teams are, going out on pens or bad VAR decisions, like, had it been really close and had some just weird, devastating thing, but, it was just the old USMNT doing what we've done before.
If you look at the world rankings, it's where they should have gone out.
Yeah.
To me, it's more about how they went out. That's the issue.
They were ranking for sure.
They were rank.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. The way that it happened, particularly the last two goals. I mean, even several of the goals, all of the goals.
Comical,
it's just
so bad.
And you just wonder there were three opportunities for goals in the first 2 minutes, and Belgium scored one of them and could have been up 3-0 after about 3 minutes. Emerson has had the roller coaster of emotions in terms of her belief in and I imagine you probably now are saying, see, I told you.
Yeah, seriously. I have been on an emotional roller coaster with this team. I lost faith in them a long time ago, and then through the first few games, I had some faith, and I kept saying, why not us? My dad texted me that every single game. He said, why not us? So I got so excited, and I've lost faith again, because what are we doing? Yeah. I mean, everyone kept saying Christian Pulisic is the star of this team. He sure wasn't the star of this tournament. It was so frustrating. I saw Carly Lloyd and Sydney Leroux both say, you rest when you retire, and he rested this entire tournament. And granted, he had an injury and so on and so forth, but I don't think he stood out. I'm disappointed. I was watching the game with a friend, and after we lost, they looked at me and said, you look like someone just died. And I said, a piece of me just died, because I've been on an emotional roller coaster with this team. So I'm disappointed, but I still have a favorite team in the tournament. So I'm looking
We'll
on the
get
bright
to that
side
in
of
just
things.
a moment. By the way, reported today that Pulisic has a deep bone bruise and a microfracture in his leg after that.
So do we all now.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's maybe a larger than microfracture. So what are the lessons learned here? What should we take away as fans, as observers? What should the team take away? Tony, what do you think the lessons learned in this World Cup are for the United States?
Man, that one's tough. I do feel like those first three matches, and I don't honestly. I'm not prepared for that question. I don't know what I think. What I learned is that I could get over it really fast. Like I'm like, dude, not falling in love again. That
you're stealing
fast.
Your heart.
Yeah, just like, I mean, and it's just, I think the whole FIFA's just been political and kind of gross, and like we're all getting to see that now, and America really got behind our guys, and then we blew it, and I think Potts did a pretty good job on like picking the team. Like when we were the first matches, we were passing around the other team looked like cones, and Paraguay was no joke.
Yeah,
like, they were fine, and we just schooled them. And then we got to this, and it was bouncing off of us
As if we'd never seen a ball.
Yeah, like my clinics.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh my gosh, man.
Are any of those kids available for the next rotation?
There's a couple, especially from the Baxter Luther Boys and Girls Club, that I would put up there with
Emerson, lessons learned for you from this.
I
World Cup.
learned that I love Malik Tillman.
Okay.
Yeah.
I learned a few things from Jenny Taft on the sidelines. I liked what she was doing actively during the game with injury updates and observing the bench and so on and so forth. And I learned never to put all of my faith in the U.S. men's national team again.
That's probably the most important thing because maybe we'll get another World Cup on American soil in the not so distant future.
Emerson's lifetime.
Definitely in Emerson's lifetime.
Hoping so.
Yeah. But again, this is the second in...
Maybe I will be on the sidelines by then.
Perhaps.
Yeah,
this is the second in my lifetime, and yours, Tony. So, knowing how FIFA works...
Yeah.
Money.
Yeah, it'll be back.
It's probably going to be back at some point in the not terribly distant
Visiting
future.
Fans absolutely loved it.
Well, that's
Yeah.
the other thing.
Still making sweet love to it.
The lesson,
they love it.
That is the lesson learned that I want to take away from the two lessons learned. Number one, when the United States puts on a major sporting event, Olympics, World Cup, Super Bowl, Final Four, what have you, it is almost always a great event. And when it's all the way across the country in multiple sites, as the World Cup was, phenomenal. And I think it was a great opportunity for the American people to welcome visitors from around the world, leave politicians and the demagoguery out of it, and just let, I mean, again, the fact that there were some of the Tartan Army saying, people in Boston are some of the warmest we've ever met.
Yeah, they're crying.
Sorry, hey, Scotland, I'm glad you enjoyed it. We don't go to Boston for warmth.
Hospitality, yeah.
Come on down south, go to the Midwest. We'll get a whole different feel for you. But the fact that was the case, that they were welcomed with open arms, and whether it's the Viking row and the celebration there, or the orange.
Did you see the video of the Mexican fans saying goodbye to the English fans after after England won? There was a huge sort of greeting line of Mexican fans that were pumping up the English, saying, "Go get the next one. We're with you."
That's cool.
And it was so good. And and they so then there's the next interview is an English guy with a Mexico hat on, and he's just like, this is unbelievable. But it just goes back to the same thing that we know about football / soccer, and that is the fans are everything.
Yeah. There was a famous phrase that football is nothing without the fans.
That's right.
And it certainly made it this year. All right, now let's look ahead. What are we looking forward to now? This afternoon, you may be listening to this after this game has taken place, France and Morocco, which should be a terrific matchup. We've got on Friday, Spain and Belgium. Doubleheader on Saturday with Norway, England, and Argentina, Switzerland in the quarterfinals. We'll get to our contest here in just a little bit, but what are you looking forward to in particular here, Tony, if at all, or are you throwing in the towel and saying I'm watching. I'm arguably more into it after a couple days after we got knocked out, but I think the chance that Norway has to make a huge statement is there. I love how much love Holland is getting. That's absolutely my wife's favorite player now. Yes. Uh-huh. I
mean, if we're sending messages in the family Instagram, 80% of them are Holland. So I love that. I actually get to Newcastle at right at kickoff.
Yes.
For that match. So pretty excited about that.
We'll talk about those travels coming up. Emerson?
I am looking forward to some beautiful goals across the board from Mbappe and Holland and Messi and Yamal. I'm just excited for some good matches. I have some favorites that we will get to in a moment when we talk about our contest, but I think it's going to be some great competitive matches, and I'm excited to tune into all of them.
Well, let's talk about some of the personalities that are still in this tournament. You mentioned Mbappe, Dembele, you've got Yamal, you've got Holland, you've got Kane, you've got Jude Bellingham, you've got one fella by the name of Leo Messi, who's still around.
Heard of him.
There are big names still remaining in the quarterfinals, and so we'll see how it all plays out. There's a little when I finish reading a book, after I close the last page, there's a little depression that sets in because I've just gone through this voyage on a book, whether it's a novel or nonfiction, what have you. Like, oh, a little letdown. I have the same thing as a college basketball fan when Kansas is knocked out, if they are, of the NCAA basketball tournament. Usually, if they get knocked out, say in the regional finals, the Elite Eight, I don't really spend much. I will not watch the Final Four. Then after that,
Homer.
Completely. Yes. Yes. Yeah. 100%, and because it's a painful memory.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like you don't want to see your ex
Too
3
soon.
weeks later.
Too soon.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I'm not quite at that level with regard to this, especially because it's in the United States. Now, I'm going to tell a quick story here and make a point at the end, and you guys can chime in on this. During the last week and a half, I was traveling with my wife, and on our way back home, we stopped off to pick up our daughter at the grandparents' house, and we stayed a night at my wife's grandmother's house. I would not categorize her as a specific sports fan in particular, and certainly not a big soccer fan. But
She have on a Holland jersey.
no, but we were sitting there watching the Mexico-England match, which was one of the matches of the tournament so far.
Yeah.
There are a lot to choose from, by the way. And she was so into it. And she was asking me questions about, well, with this, I'm getting texts from my mom at the same time. Like, what's that with the guy laying down behind the wall? And like, little things that we take for granted because we watch soccer all the time. Is a player allowed to pull somebody down by the shoulders? All right, Mom, don't. There's a long conversation to have with that.
It'd be funny if you just told them like wrong answers. Like, yeah, he probably needs a sub. The guy laying down, I don't know.
He's very hungry.
Yeah.
So, my point is this: that when you have 30 or 33 million people watching the Fox broadcast, not to mention the Telemundo broadcasts, these are the kind of ratings that you would get for for non-Super Bowl, and in some cases, approaching some of the biggest ratings you would find for a non-Super Bowl broadcast. Undoubtedly, there will be new fans of the game who come out of this. Let's talk specifically locally about what that means. When you go to watch a World Cup match, when you go, I can't give you a firsthand account. Our friend Mauricio Ruiz was up at one of the games. We saw Brazil and Norway.
I'm glad he got to go.
Yeah. But the fact that when you watch, what is it that draws you in? First, obviously, high-level competition. Second, the stakes are very high. It's very clear. And it's clear that the players who are playing in the game and the coaches know the stakes.
Feeling it. Yeah.
You can feel it. The fans in the stands, the setting, the atmosphere. Everybody understands that. The broadcasters convey that with the way they call the game. You cannot replicate that in a Wednesday night USL Championship game. However, if you have enjoyed, and if you're listening to this podcast, I'm probably preaching to the choir, so maybe you become a little more evangelical.
I wish I'd have looked at this before. One guy actually said we're the best soccer podcast. I think it was on LinkedIn. It was some comment.
It was probably my dad.
Was it Doug Burris?
It might have been. No, I don't think it was.
Okay.
Really?
I can't remember his name. I'll look it up. Anyway,
I appreciate that.
Yeah,
And
interruptor over here.
But my point is, for those of you listening to this podcast, please urge your friends to support the local pro teams. Come out, enjoy it, experience it. You can help make the atmosphere more, it's going to be a long way, but more like the thing that made you feel it in the World Cup.
Such a good shout. And bring your mom, because everyone's mom, if you've got soccer in your DNA in your background, your mom was definitely texting you and calling you. I guarantee it. Bring them out.
Exactly. So to that end, I will mention that the women's team for Sporting Jacks is about to kick off the season next month.
In camp.
They are in camp now. In fact, by the time you listen to this, they may be en route to the UK, where they will have some preseason work with Newcastle and Wrexham. After a successful debut season last year, they're set to kick off the 2026 season on August the 22nd with a home opener against the Tampa Bay Sun. And season tickets are now available from as low as $20, or rather, from as low as $70 for the entire season per seat.
Okay.
I mean, that's
lunch for some of you people.
It's a sprint season, so fewer games in this season, 7 home matches, but prices will vary up from there. Call 904-863-KICK or go to sportingjacks.com to get your season tickets today, or make your plans to see the men's team. The USL Championship side is back at home on Wednesday to take on the defending champion Pittsburgh Riverhounds.
I have something to add very quickly based off of Tony's comment. It was indeed my father, Doug Burris.
Oh, good job.
Commenting, this is what it's all about right here. Well, this and the best soccer podcast in the country.
Love that.
Thanks,
Dad.
Awesome.
Yes.
So Tony and I need to get our parents to chime in.
Indeed.
For a second there, I thought it was a fourth listener.
All right. Also want to remind you, the Sporting Jacks Report comes to you each weekend on the stations of First Coast News. You can view that show coming up Saturday at noon on ABC 25 this week. And you can join us every Tuesday at 6 for the Coaches Show on 1010XL. You can listen live and on demand at 1010XL.com. We get the coaches, players, and personalities from the club to join me. And that is every week, Tuesday evenings at 6 p.m. on 1010XL. All right, couple of new signings for each side we want to discuss briefly here. The women signing Melina Dakari and Macy Teeter. Dakari, who started her career at North Carolina and then finished up at, I should have written this down, I'm still learning.
I think you're talking about Macy. Macy started at UNC and then transferred to Vanderbilt.
Yes, Melina started at FSU and then transferred to South Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
And so
is from Canada.
Jaguars.
Yeah, and she's from Montreal.
Mm-hmm.
So brings a little international flavor. And then Macy, who was recruited to Vanderbilt and coached there by Stacey Balaam, so she was the captain at Vandy. So that should be
that's good.
A real positive
a reunion.
Yeah, and I like to see, again, we saw last season how important the rookies were.
Yeah.
And you start talking about the first-year players, the impact they made. Georgia Brown, Kate Parks in goal, Meg Hughes, Paige Kenton, Ashlyn Puerta, Bailey DeSmit. The list goes on and on of the young players who made an impact last season. So we will have some player features on those two new players coming up in the next couple of weeks or months. And the men's signings include Danny Wilson, who has played at Liverpool, who has who has played in the Scottish Premier League, and who has played for Colorado Rapids in MLS.
I have a nugget.
Good. Bring it.
Yes.
Colorado Rapids. I checked in with our good friend Tim Howard and asked him if he knew Danny Wilson. He said he's very good.
Good.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Like it?
Yeah.
And so did they play together?
For 1 year.
1 year, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So both of these guys are in their 30s. These are veteran defenders, which is exactly what is needed right now. And the other one is Ventura Alvarado, former U.S. international, played in the Klinsmann era for the U.S. and also has been playing primarily for Club America in Liga MX, but most of his career in Mexico, but coming back to the United States now. So buttressing the defense, exactly what this side needs.
Yeah. Well, excited to see them play. Hopefully they can get some minutes on Wednesday, if not Saturday.
Yep.
Yep.
It's a two home game week coming up next week for Sporting Jacks, with Brooklyn FC coming in on the weekend. All right. Time now for our World Cup contest. Because it's been a couple of weeks, we took the week off last week. Let me set things up. As you may recall, we chose every team and 16 teams aside for Tony, Emerson, and myself. And with our group stage scoring, after the group stage, I had the lead with 75, led by my 12-point Brazil. However, Tony had the highest scoring team. I think I may need to rework Emerson's numbers here.
Yeah, I'm seeming a little bit low.
Yeah. And we'll work on that. I'll get you updated numbers.
Thanks.
As we move on. However, after that,
Just make a call to Infantino.
We're gonna
get a little bump there.
Yeah, we'll see how it works out. The knockout round, we had to select 4 teams to be our representatives, and we could keep our 4 teams that we had drafted, or if you wanted to pick up others, you could. So I took kept all 4 from my original: Argentina, Brazil, the Netherlands, and the United States. I've only got 1 team remaining, and that's Argentina. Emerson kept
still good.
Spain, Portugal, Germany, and Norway. She's got 2 remaining. And Tony kept France, England, Colombia, and Ivory Coast. France and England still remaining. So I'm in trouble here because I only have 1. I really need Argentina to repeat, probably, or certainly get to the finals in order to make up the numbers here. So nothing to announce or pick here. I apologize for not having done the math on everybody.
That's okay.
I'm glad that you had Norway, because all this time I was thinking, man, I should have picked Norway.
Well, you
but I
couldn't
didn't have the ability.
Right.
So, yeah. And both of mine that are out, Ivory Coast and Colombia, they fought right to the dang end. Like, could have gone either way.
And Portugal on my side.
Portugal. And let's just also say that Belgium is going to get boat raced by Spain.
I would say so.
Yeah, I'm not allowed to bet. Don't bet.
Don't bet.
I would think.
Don't bet on what I'm saying.
I would have expected the United States to get boat raced by Spain had they gotten there, but it would have felt a whole lot better to have one of the best top 3 teams in the world
Indeed.
taking you down. Yeah. So, all right, that will do it for us here on the Sporting Pod, other than another opportunity for Tony to break format.
Thank you. So, obviously, there's been tons of media coverage on our massive soccer fest that we did with FYSA and the Boys and Girls Club out at Brentwood Park. We are in full planning mode for some back-to-school clinics coming up, and we are working on a league for the foundation. So free soccer, but you're also going to have a team, and you're also going to have a coach. And so it's early stages. It's probably debut the beginning of 27, but we're making those moves right now. If you want to support, if you're a coach and would like to be involved, or a donor, a benevolent billionaire, we've made a...
Are there those?
Yes. Well, I guess it's debatable, but there is a LinkedIn page. Speaking of billionaires, there's a LinkedIn page for the foundation now. Please follow that. I'm also putting up information on our 50-50 raffle for the 18th for the match, and we're not doing one on the 15th, but we're doing one on the 18th. And that one, you can win half the money, but the second prize is a Lift Every Voice specific jersey kit. Yeah.
Very cool.
So that'll be on the later today. That'll be on the foundation LinkedIn, which we all need you to follow. Please.
All right, wonderful. We also urge you to follow Sporting Jacks on all social media. We have updated the handles on Instagram for the men's and women's specific pages, so you'll want to check that out. And also, please be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you are getting this podcast there, you may already have done so. Otherwise, it's a great place to get all kinds of back behind the scenes and personality profiles, the weekly show, you name it, there on Sporting Jacks' YouTube channel. Just search for Sporting Jacks. All right, big week next week, busy week. The women will be in England. The men have 2 games, and we keep chugging on, as does the World Cup. For Tony Allegretti and Emerson Burris, I'm Cole Pepper. Thanks so much for listening to The Sporting Pod.